The following presentation of the Montyman's Meditorials is brought to you by Kurt and Debbie Palmer, Roger McDermott and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting. To subscribe to this as well as any of our shows, visit our website at take12radio.com. And now, here's the Montyman with this week's Meditorial.
Well, greetings, my friends. I am your host, the Montyman, on this episode of the Montyman's Meditorial. This one is entitled Stupid Thing Number 5 That'll Mess Up Your Recovery. What is that stupid thing? Feeling special and unique. Now, listen, I have promised to read you a portion from Dr. Alan Berger's book, 12 Stupid Things That Mess Up Recovery, Avoiding Relapse Through Self-Awareness and Right Action. And today is no different. I'm going to read an excerpt, and then I'm going to add my 2 cents as well. Listen, a common first response to the requirements of recovery is to negotiate, to pick and choose what we think will be helpful. One person might say, I don't need to go to a meeting every day for the first 90 days of recovery. 2 meetings a week are plenty enough for me. Another newcomer might exclaim, I don't need a sponsor. I can do this by myself. And yet another might say, I don't have to work all the steps. 1 and 12 are enough for me. Well, this kind of thinking is based on the mistaken belief that we are special and unique, and that we don't have to do what everyone else has done to develop a solid, robust recovery. This dangerous attitude has led many newcomers and even some old-timers back into the depths of despair and relapse. Listen, we are special. We are unique, but not in this sense. To begin recovery, we need to surrender. Surrender can be best defined as the total and complete acceptance of the reality of our situation. We suffer from an illness that we are powerless to defeat on our own. Surrender also means that we accept that our illness has impaired the way we manage our life. This is a lot to accept. If we are governed by false pride and have a tendency to minimize the severity of problems. The motivation behind this self-defeating strategy is, if I don't have to do everything that everyone else has to do, then I'm not as sick or as bad as all of those who need to work the whole program. Well, here is where the danger begins. If we do not surrender to the reality of our condition, then we will not be moved or motivated to go to any length to stay clean and sober. We will not have the necessary foundation to tackle the upcoming tasks that are necessary to establish a solid recovery. Now, in addition to what Dr. Berger is saying here, I'd like to address my good friends of the faith community. Now, I have worked with well-meaning spiritual leaders as well as parishioners in a variety of denominations that all felt at one time or another that because of their religious convictions, they believed that they were no longer at risk of relapse or a setback in their recovery. That because they had turned their will and life over to God, that somehow God was going to protect them from the addictions they once had, but no longer are a slave to. Well, though I would agree that God is the great physician and He is the one that does the ultimate healing, what physician worth their weight doesn't discharge us from their care without a treatment plan? If we follow that plan, we are sure to heal from our afflictions, but once we decide to cherry-pick the portions of that plan and only follow those directives which seem convenient and comfortable, we are soon to find ourselves in the emergency room once more, screaming at the heavens, "Why did you let this happen?" Oh, the truth is, once in God's care, we are instructed to remain under that care for as long as we're sucking air. No religious rhetoric, no amount of man-made miraculous signs and wonders, and no number of emotional reactions to a well-delivered sermon on Sunday morning will bring us to a state of recovered. Only God Himself will do that. But He requires our cooperation. Once we fall into that tired old lie that we are unique and different from all others in recovery because we know God, we then cut ourselves off from the sunlight of His Spirit. And stupid thing number 5 interrupts the recovery process. Our pride takes over, and our humility is but a fleeting thought. Listen, humility is the spiritual foundation of recovery. In order to feel worthy, we do not need to be unique. People who do best in recovery are those who surrender and follow suggestions. Well, there you have stupid thing number 5, feeling special and unique. All right, if you've enjoyed this meditorial, we encourage you to email us at take12radio@comcast.net. That's TAKE, the number 12, radio@comcast.net. And don't forget to subscribe to all of our shows for fun and for free on any of the podcasting platforms listed at take12radio.com. Until our next broadcast, this is the Montyman, and I am wishing God's perfect serenity for you.
This has been a broadcast of KHLT Recovery Broadcasting and the Take 12 Recovery Radio Shows.